the younger children starting in pre-K, we talk about their bodies, about the parts that they were born with, about penises and vaginas and whether that makes somebody a boy or a girl, but also their feelings. What do they feel like inside? Do they feel like a boy or a girl? What does their head say? Does their head and their heart and their body match up?
30 years ago, if you were to tell somebody, hey, I'm going to take your 6-year-old kid over here and I'm going to show him what a is and what a is and show him how all that works, and then tell them, you don't have to have you can be a girl if you want to, they would probably get arrested. Being a sick freak, damn pervert, you old pedophile, you're sick. What's wrong with you? I'll kick your ass. But now it's just fine. No problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, you're a bigot if you don't let us do this.
Second grade, we move on explicitly to gender identity and talk about it again in terms of your head and your heart and your body parts matching up. And does that work for you? What happens if it doesn't? And the kids draw wonderful self-portraits again, but dealing with all aspects of their identity, including specifically their gender identity. Gender expression is what you share with the world. It's something that you can change from day to day. It's completely up to you. Sexual orientation is
completely irrelevant until they're old enough to have sex, which is generally 15, 16 years old at the earliest. You know, I wonder if these people were to sit back and listen to what they're saying, they may see it differently, because from where I'm sitting, this is nuts. Fucking nuts. What? I apologize, that pun was not intended.
Who you are emotionally and physically attracted to.
And there's the problem. These young kids shouldn't be physically attracted to anyone.
We talk about gender identity specifically with the gender unicorn, this time talking about things as a continuum. Second grade, we move on explicitly to gender identity and talk about it again in terms of your head and your heart and your body parts matching up. And does that work for you? What happens if it doesn't? And the kids draw wonderful self-portraits again, but dealing with all aspects of their identity, including specifically their gender identity.
You know, and that's something kids shouldn't have to worry about. They shouldn't have to think about stuff like that, because it can be confusing. Kids can be so impressionable and change their mind all the time. So if that's trending and they do it, and then say get a surgery, that's possibly irreparable. Can't fix it. This age is just definitely way too young to talk about this. They don't even know who they are yet. We really need to pump the brakes on this. No problems teaching it. Just do it at an appropriate age.
Gender expression is what you share with the world. It's something that you can change from day to day. It's completely up to you.
And there it is. There's the tinfoil hat. Somebody really needs to bring this point up to these people, that it sounds really crazy when you say
gender expression is what you share with the world. It's something that you can change from day to day. It's completely up to you.
Do you really think that can change from day to day? I mean, that would be like me saying I can turn into a turtle because that's how I feel. No.
Sexual orientation is who you are emotionally and physically attracted to.
Young kids shouldn't be physically attracted to anyone.
We talk about gender identity specifically with the gender unicorn, this time talking about things as a continuum.
You know, it really blows my mind how they cannot see how inappropriate this is.
Students call me AP Ellis since I don't use gendered pronouns in my name. I personally identify both as gender nonconforming and gender non-binary, in that I do not feel just female or male, but I feel a mix of that within myself.
Reality check. You may not feel like either one, but you definitely are. That's something that people like to call denial, which is indicative of some sort of mental health issue. You know, and I'm fine with that. Be whatever you want to be, but keep it to yourself. I mean, I'm not going around walking up to people, hey, I'm straight.
As a trans person, it does get really tiresome in conversations where I'm being misgendered and I'm carrying the discomfort of another adult for their mistake.
That's because for the whole history of humans, there have only been two genders, male or female. And if you're neither one of those, I can easily see how people would misgender you because you're a gender that doesn't exist.
And sort of have to take the burden of the discomfort of that.
You can't just expect people to know these things. You know, once again, perspective. You should understand that it's not normal to not be a male or a female. That was your choice. And that's the consequences that come with that choice. Sorry.
And again, I think kids do a really miraculous job of not doing that. I'm going to open the door for our student panelists to weigh in here.
I feel respected with my gender, but I definitely think that we should talk about it more outside and more throughout different classes during the day. I'm in middle school and I have a younger sibling in 4th grade and not 100% sure what their pronouns are.
Once again, that's not something she should have to worry about.
Conservative political operatives have figured out what riles up their base. The fake threat that progressives are trying to indoctrinate their children, to groom them to become gay or trans. These terms, indoctrination, grooming, predator, accusing innocent people of being pedophiles or being soft on pedophiles, it is all so a very specific trigger for a group that is sinking its teeth into our political discourse.
I guess she doesn't realize that, yeah, of course that's a trigger. People want to protect their kids.
As a preschool teacher, a drag king, and as a member of the LGBTQ community, how do I feel about the new legislations for the Don't Say Gay bill? I don't care what the government tells me to do. I am going to do what I think is best for the health and safety of my kids.
Okay, first off, she shouldn't be a teacher. Her priorities are way screwed. Teaching kids about sex and gender, and they can be anything they want to be, that has nothing to do with health and safety at all. It invites predators. It invites pedophilia. It's unsafe. Wow. Or the opposite could happen to somebody. Teacher teaching their kids this stuff in this curriculum, they go home and say, hey, teacher taught me how to have boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots. Might be some issues with that. Then you would completely ruin an innocent person, putting them through investigation and all this stuff, traumatizing the child in the same way. It's just better to wait. I don't see the problem with waiting. Why not wait until high school? Add gender studies as an elective. Why teach them so early? It doesn't make any sense. You know, I started making videos because I wanted to make people laugh, but because I hate negativity. Is it negative to be negative about negativity? That's weird.